Walk in that room, they become yours. And you got this energy inside your soul that says, I am the number one determinant of the success or failure of my students. Hey, y'all, when you get back, kick some butt. I'll see you in the winner's circle celebrating your victory. Let's go. 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 Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, everybody.
And we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to week 202 of the AP and New Principals Academy. Let me see who we got in the building this morning. We got starting off Sharon Wright is coming from Brandon, Pennsylvania. Mona Abimolak is here. As always, we got Robin W in the building. We got from Fredericksburg, Virginia. We got Rodney Richardson down in Hampton, Takesha High in Virginia, John Few, Chester, South Carolina. We got Grace Castaneda in Kyle, Texas. Marsha Poe in San Diego. Dr. Rella Hicks is here down there in, I believe it's Augusta. We got Arlette Johnson. She'll be a guest soon, y'all. That's the 2023 Assistant Principal of the Year out in the state of Connecticut. We got Donna States in the building, Nova Scotia, Canada. Greetings. We got Lysandra Brackens in NC, to Sheikah Truesdale in Atlanta, Vanessa Zeskin, Connecticut, Casey, Washington, the world. She said, good morning, world. Rashard Davis in Vegas. Principal Otis Kitchen II down in Florida. He said, let's go. Michael Benton out in Cincinnati. Good morning, sir. Principal Sherrod Laws is in the building. Harambe, everybody, and Hotep from Greenville, North Carolina. Justin McMillan is in the building. Colorado, man, we all over the place. John Herrick, Tony McClenny, the Queen, Kimberly Broughton Kafele is in the building. We got Sean Hurt, Detroit. What a session he did this morning. 10 o'clock, Sean Hurt. On Facebook Live, also other platforms, but Facebook Live, follow him there. Make sure you do. Watch him every Saturday, followed by Create and Educate with Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor. And there is Dr. Sheikah Houston right there. Good morning to you. We got Demetrius Scott, the good doctor, Demetrius Scott's in the building. Ronald Pugh, Jasmine Harris out there in California, always waking up early on Saturday to be a part of the Fantastic Four. We got Dr. Charlene Williams in the building, Vancouver, Washington. Yolanda McKinney holding it down out in Arkansas. Annette Mack, good morning to you. Sandra Krause Ayers, Washington State. Jacqueline Herriott, who's one of my guests, is in the building. Melissa Jones Chunu, prayers up always. She's in the building out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. T. Priceless, yes, knowledge is power. T. Priceless says, Nolene Martin, good spring break morning. Are y'all on spring break already, man? There ain't no spring break here in Jersey. That's not till April. North Texas, where we at? Lou Saunders, my man, in the building. East Orange. Rodney Richardson. September Devon Vance Daniels is here. MPA Jaguars, Josh Tovar in the building. Check him out every Sunday night at 7 o'clock. I've been looking for you, Josh. Now, you coming on this Sunday? So Josh and Dean Packard. Where we at? Charlena Hottie is in the building. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, y'all. Boss Educators in the building. Y'all should have seen. Let me holler real quick. Y'all should have been at the Innovative Schools Summit last, when was that? What day was I there? Was that Friday, I think, Dr. Nelson? I think it was Friday, man. We were in Times Square, New York City, the Marriott Marquis. Is it Marquis? Marquis. And she was one of the keynoters, man. She, man, they had to call the fire department, man. She brought so much fire, man. That's the Boss Educator. If you don't know her, you better ask somebody. Go to her page on Facebook and follow and just be a part of her boss world, her Boss Educator world. We got Haley Elaine Couch in the building out there in Oklahoma. That's my milking sister, right? So good, always good to see you, Haley. We're gonna get you on here too, without a doubt. We got Kim Souza from Hawaii. She said aloha. That's what I'm talking about, man. Keep it coming. I'm getting ready to get it going. Kenny Breeze is here in Charlotte. AP in Charlotte, man. Good to see you. There's Tamiko Hunt, who was my guest last week out here in Jersey. Champion Principal's here. I'm going to shut it down, y'all. You know I got to get going. We got a lot to do today. We got what we got. Let me look for one of the local homies, man. I like to close out with my Jersey homies. What we got? Here we go. Here's one right here. And I'm going to be at her school next week, man. This week coming, Paula McIntosh Bethea. Good to see you, Principal. Looking forward to being at your school, Kilmer, on I think it's Tuesday, Trenton, New Jersey. So I'm gonna close it right there with the Jersey homie, and I'm gonna say to everybody, I see you, Edwin Garcia. There's another Jersey homie, so I gotta say him too. So both of y'all, I better stop scrolling because I might see some more Jersey on here. So let me just say real quick, I gotta shout out the man. No, I see the professor, man. The professor just jumped on, so I can't close out without acknowledging the professor. That's my man, Onay Chapman. OC Chapman is in the building doing big things. If you don't know him, just go to OC Chapman on Facebook, follow him, friend him, whatever it is. Follow his work. He's written about 28 books, right? So he does a lot of writing, man. So check him out. I'm gonna close it right there, y'all. I can't keep on looking for the homies, right? So let me say to everybody now, formally now, good morning. Greetings. Welcome to week 202. Man, and now a lot, y'all. I've been before this computer for 202 consecutive Saturdays, y'all. Consecutive. I want you, I know I'm in my greetings, but I just want somebody to let that hit, man. Just feel that for a second. That's called commitment. That's called dedication, right? Because we can find a lot of reasons to break a chain, but I decided I'm going to be here, right? I'm going to be here. I'm here. 202 of the AP and New Principals Academy. And I'm going to tell you, I think I know how you're feeling this morning. I mean, I'm looking outside. It's cloudy. It's rainy. It's gloom. But you know something? I don't care, man, because my attitude is not dictated by no weather. My attitude ain't dictated by a whole lot of things that happen around me. My attitude, hear me, somebody, is dictated by what's happening within me. Y'all missed that. You ain't even hear me. I'm gonna say it again. My attitude is not dictated by stimuli that's outside of me that I have no influence over. How am I let something that I have no control over, no influence over, dictate the way I feel? I ain't doing that. My attitude is dictated by the way I feel. And watch this, y'all. This is going to throw somebody. I'm going to control how I feel. Man, I ain't even to my monologue yet, and I'm preaching already. I'm going to control that. So therefore, every day going to be a good day. I mean, there's nuance, but every day going to be a good day because I'm going to make sure I got the right attitude. So with that being said, let me let you know precisely how I feel. I'm on fire! Woo! Woo! That's how I feel, baby. That's how I feel, right? So if you didn't know, now you know, right? So let's get into it a little bit. I got an international session today. I'm missing one of my guests, man. I hope she's gonna pop up on here. But I got my other two, man. We got enough, man. We got between the three of us, we got enough to take this thing till tomorrow this time. So I mean, we ain't struggling, right? So that's attitude once again. If my guests couldn't come on and I was solo, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I got sessions I created just in case of emergencies, man. And then I got the stuff that's just up here. I don't need no script. I'm going to be ready. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready, right? So let's go, y'all. Shout out. I got no districts or conferences to shout out. Let me tell you why. I took last week off, y'all. I ain't go nowhere. It's a couch sitting right over to my right here. That was where I spoke from that couch all week. I took it down. You know, hey, somebody, let me holler at somebody out there. You got to take it down sometime. You got to take it down. You got to chill. I've been on the road since January 1st. I said, I got to take it way down. So I blocked that week out. No, I ain't no vacation. I didn't go nowhere. I just stayed in the crib. Sometimes you got to do that. So let me holler at somebody that's overworked. Make sure that you carve out some time in your life. I know you can't carve it out from your day job, but make sure you carve out some time in your life that you take it down. You don't, when you take it down, that don't mean you got to go jump on a plane and travel and be on some place somewhere, right? Sometimes taking it down could just be in the crib. And that's what I did. I just took it down in my house, and boy, did I have a great week. It was equivalent to being on a cruise ship, equivalent to being in the Caribbean, chilling on an island, equivalent to being wherever. Sometimes you don't need to go someplace to have a good time. Those of us that understand, you can have a good time just being within yourself. See, some of us think we need external to have fun. Nah, just give me. Let me show you. Give me that guy. Give me him. Oh, I did that nice too. Look at that. Ah, yeah. See, right there in that mirror. Give me him. And I'm good. I'm good. All right, y'all, let's go. I see we got a lot. Man, we got a lot of people on here. A little bit more than I'm accustomed to. What's going on here? Y'all want that international flavor? Let me hurry up. Real quick, y'all. Subscribe to the AP and New Principles Academy YouTube channel. We got 20,400 subscribers. Let's take that bad boy up to 25,000, right? So hit that subscribe button and click that notifications bell too. That way you know when I go live every time in case you forget. And then within that channel, the midweek shorts, man. That's them 60-second joints that I do every Wednesday. Just giving the folks a little fire. Hey, y'all got to hang on in real time because my other guest is calling me. Oh man, she just hung up. Oh man, y'all stay. Listen, I got a guest from Trinidad, man. I gotta get to her, man. So y'all gonna have to just chill for a minute while I try to return, see what's going on with her connection, man. Here we go. Where we at? While using this app, allow. All right, let me see if I can get her. We live. I gotta get my guest, y'all. Where's she at? It's calling. She trying to get on. I got my guest from Trinidad. Hey, Jennifer, you there?
But I didn't get the link to log on.
Yeah, I sent it. It's check your junk mail. It's there. I sent it on Wednesday.
You sent it to which email?
Whatever one we've been communicating on. Hey, y'all, just stay there, man. I got my guest on here, right? Give me an email address real quick so I can send it again.
Jennifer.
Wait, hang on. Let me go to the one I sent and just forward that. Wednesday. Y'all stay there. Don't leave me now. I got my guest on here, man. She all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. Where we at? Here we are. All right. Hang on. All right, give me that, Jennifer. Go ahead.
Yes, with two N's. Yes. JENNIFER.
Got you.
Doyle, DOYLE.
Got you.
Trini, TRINI @gmail.com.
I don't think that's the address I used. I think it was a work address. So, no, it is because I already got it in there. All right, so here it comes. So just log right on. Hang on, I ain't send it yet, but I'm getting ready to send it. All right, here it goes. Oh man, I got to send that again. Yeah. Wait. Y'all don't leave me. Give me that again. I had a typo.
I think I got it. Are you ready? We are waiting on you. Let me see the log on link. There's no link.
It's down at the bottom in yellow. You see it?
Nope, there's nothing at the bottom.
Hang on.
Let me go back up.
All right, I'm sending it now. Here I come to my audience. Stay there. I'm talking to my guests. All right, we good. Jennifer, I just sent it again. You go to you scroll down and it says it's in. I highlighted it in yellow.
Yeah.
All right, it's in your. Do you see the email?
I got it.
All right, come on in.
Yes, I got it.
You'll be backstage till I bring you up. All right, see you soon. All right, y'all see this real, man. You know, we ain't on CBS, NBC, and ABC. We on the Principal Kafele network. So anything goes, man. So it's so she's all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. Y'all patient. I see you kept them numbers up for me. So I appreciate it. Kimberly O'Donoghue said real time, baby. And that's what it is. So let me go. So y'all be sure to check out the midweek fire every Wednesday. I post something. There's 60-second videos, just motivation for the week to get you through the week, that type of thing. And there she is. All right, she's coming up soon. So anyway, make sure you check those out on the AP and New Principals Academy YouTube channel. Also, be aware that I made these videos called Becoming a Professional Speaker and Becoming a Best-Selling Author. Those are 9 videos. They're on my same YouTube channel, AP and New Principals Academy. So those of you that want to become professional speakers, those of you who want to become best-selling authors, I got 13 hours of content for you, right? Check those out. The School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele, July 9 and 10. If you want to come and join me, July 9 and 10, I'll be in Houston, Texas. You come, so you go to principalkafele.com, scroll down on the home page, and you'll see the link. Click the link and register, and come on out with me. July 9 and 10, we talking leadership all day. Our theme is, what is my value to the teachers that I supervise instructionally? And we're going to handle that from 9 to 4 both days in Houston. I'd love to see you in Houston. My national audience, my international audience, come on and join me in Houston on July 9 and 10. I got to show you these because I do that every week. This is the first book that accompanies the Saturday Academy. The Assistant Principal 50. I thank all of you for keeping this book in the top 10 consistently on Amazon, Education Administration. It was number 3 the other day. I don't know where it is now. It was number 4 when I checked it earlier today. My newest book, The Assistant Principal Identity, Protecting Your Leadership Mindset, Fervor, and Authenticity. And then The Aspiring Principal 50. So these 3 books, I call these my super team. Right, like in basketball, they talk about super teams. This is my super team, right? But assistant principals. I got the principal books too, but I ain't gonna show you those right now. But you go to Amazon, they'll all pop up. But these are my super team. So make sure you get yourself a copy. If you're an aspiring administrator, if you're an assistant principal, you need to have those. There's nothing like them on the planet Earth. It's just not. There are good books out there, but in terms of having this threesome, ain't nothing like it out there. Nothing. Right, you can search the internet all you want. This is it right here. All right, real quick, let me do my monologue real quick. It's not a formal monologue. It's just 3 thoughts I want to share with you. Number 1, condolences to Dr. Harry Wong. For those of you that didn't know, didn't hear about it or saw my post, Dr. Harry Wong that wrote the first days of school, he passed in February, late February, at 91 years old. I would dare say that most of us, if not all of us in education, have been touched by this man one way or the other, either directly or indirectly. But there are not many people that can say that they were not touched by this man's work around classroom management, right? So Dr. Harry Wong, condolences to his family. Shout out to him and the work he did. And if you read my posts, you know that I was most inspired by this man. I went to see him my first month of being an AP in 1998. I went to Vegas to hear him as a keynoter. And when I saw him on that stage, I said to myself, I am going to keynote in Vegas one day. I was so inspired by that. And July 15, 2013, I got my first Vegas keynote. But also in about 10 years from that, Dr. Wong and I keynoted in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. He opened and I closed. So what an honor that was, because the man inspired me so much. Secondly, read my post about Selma. March 7, 1965 was the day of Bloody Sunday in Selma. And I wrote a post. I write a post every March 7th for the past 18 years, since the first time I walked the Edmund Pettus Bridge. But this time, Facebook decided to put restrictions on my post. They said that they were going to put restrictions on my page if I didn't take the pictures down from Bloody Sunday, which you talk about your day being impacted. Let me contradict everything I said in my opening. My day was impacted that day. I walked around ticked off all day. That now Facebook is in the business of restricting what I post, where I'm just posting American history. I'm just putting pictures of the Alabama state troopers and Selma police beating down marchers who were marching for the sole reason of seeking the right to vote. So they were attempting to march 4 days from Selma to Montgomery, the capital of Alabama, to demand the right to vote. So those pictures when they were beaten down on March 7, that's real history. It really happened that they were beaten down in those streets on that highway, Highway 80, leading to Montgomery, for the right to vote, including John Lewis. They cracked his skull, right, with a billy club. So he had a cracked skull on March 7, and Facebook wrote me a note and said they violate their community standards. And they would if I don't take them down, then they're going to restrict my usage of the platform. Man, that ticked me off, man. That's not even the word I want to use, but I don't want to get in trouble on social media using a different word. So I'll keep it as it ticked me off that happened. But read the post. It gives you a lot more detail than what I want to share here because time is short. I got 3 guests on. And then the last thing I want to say, which was inspired by my guy, Sean Hurt, this morning. I just got a question for you. How is your spring testing preparation coming along, right? Sean has been spending like almost every day talking about testing preparation. I tend not to talk about standardized assessments for whatever the reason, but I want to just have this brief word to say to you, how's the preparation coming? Have you been doing the right things? And did you start your preparation way months back, not just 2 weeks before the test? But what does that look like? What is your data telling you? And how have you utilized your data relative to your preparation for your standardized assessments? So I just want to leave you with that thought. I got 3 guests. I see Jennifer here, but I don't know if she's on camera. I hope her camera is working, but she's definitely here, my guest from Trinidad. But I got these 3 guests that I want to bring to you. So let me bring them on up here, and I got to change my background. Y'all know I always forget to do that, man. So let me do that. And there we go. And Jennifer, you can't. So you got to go audio, Jennifer. You got a camera there.
Yes, I do. It's on.
Oh man, maybe if you go out and come back in. Why don't you leave and then hit the yeah, there you go. Hey, but we do have Jacqueline Herriott and Christina Timber Glover in the building. So let me say formally to y'all, good morning to you.
Good morning, Principal Kafele and our social media friends.
Good morning, everyone.
Glad to see you. Glad to see you. This is my first time doing this. Wanted to do something international this time. I've had folks who are American who were not necessarily born in this country, but I wanted to bring some folks from their homeland on here to do something a little bit different, and I'm really excited about this conversation, including our good sister Jennifer Doyle, who will be on soon. Hopefully, she can get that camera working so we could see her. But there's so much to talk about. Let me just say this, folks. I'm gonna read their bios, but I just want to share this with you. I want to share with you why I know these 3 women. The other one, she'll be here in a second. I'm gonna start with I think I met Christina first. So let me just start with Christina Timber Glover. She's from St. Eustatius. I'm going to talk a little bit about the island in about 5 or 10 minutes from now. Or right now, I'm just going to say from St. Eustatius, which is in the Dutch Caribbean. And some of y'all may not know that island. It's very small, but I'm going to get into the particulars later. And I'm going to let her get into some of those particulars as well. But I'm going to just say this for now. I met her at the ASCD conference years ago. She's in my session along with her team. And she saw it fit, as they would say in the church, saw it not robbery to invite me to St. Eustatius and spend some time there in the schools and with the educators. So we had a great time. But I want to talk to you about the island itself. But I want to save that for in a few minutes. So we'll get to that. Jacqueline Herriott, I think I've known her. I think I've known her kind of indirectly for a very long time. And we finally got to meet face to face. Was that at my academy that we first met face to face? Yeah. And she just does, as Christina, phenomenal work. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little while. But she invited me to Nova Scotia several times, and we finally made it happen this past 2023 recently. And that's that's our connection. And then Jennifer Doyle, who's trying to get in here, she brought me to Trinidad and Tobago, and I spent some time there. And what stands out for me in Trinidad was, I drive rental cars, and they drive on the opposite side of the street in Trinidad, and the steering wheel is on the opposite side. So I struggled. I told them folks I can't do it. They had to have somebody drive that car for me, because I just couldn't, my brain couldn't process that, if that makes sense to you. All our brains are different, and my brain just couldn't make that thing work in terms of making them left turns, some right turns. I was too nervous about it. But hopefully she's going to get back on here. If she has to call me on Facebook, we're going to do that too. So let's go, man. We got some bios. Let me tell you something about Jacqueline Herriott, y'all. She sent me this bio. It's long. And I got to tell you, Jacqueline's family, by the way, for those of you that don't know, she's AP New Principals Academy family. She's not just a guest today. She's us, right? So I said, man, there's a lot of stuff here. But then when I read it, I said, I got to read this. So I cut out 2 paragraphs, right? But you're going to still say, oh, that's a lot of stuff. Y'all hear this, man. Jacqueline Herriott, hit that share button, hit the retweet, hit the repost, tag somebody. Jacqueline Herriott, 30-year educator who specializes in, I'm going to read it fast too, who specializes in elementary and junior high education and French language, was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. I see you, Jennifer, but I can't, I guess we're going to have to, yours going to be like radio, Jennifer, like podcast.
I'll keep trying.
I wish,
sorry about that.
No, if you could send, if you could put a photo on your on your profile on your page, then at least I can have a photo of you up.
Okay.
Yeah, so do that. All right. So with Jacqueline again, Herriott, I want y'all to hear this good, y'all. It's born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, on April 18th. Jacqueline was given up for adoption at 2 months old by her birth mother, ordered in the care of the Children's Aid Society of Nova Scotia. She spent her next 21 years placed in the care of foster parents. Jacqueline grew up in rural Nova Scotia, living with foster parents as the sole Black soul, and she says soul, S-O-L-E, Black, S-O-U-L, person in the region where she resided, right? So I want you to keep that in mind as I read this. She spent 18 years, 365 days each year, or just over 6,570 days, until she enrolled in college as the sole person of her race, Black, and has spoken widely about her early existence, of which she defines as being in a state, listen to this, y'all, a state of Black solitary confinement, enduring acts of racial hatred throughout the entirety of those years. After being emancipated from Nova Scotia's child welfare system at age 18, she fought for an extension of her wardship to pursue higher education, and at 21 left Nova Scotia's foster care system. Once emancipated from foster care, she was able to trace her roots to the historic community of Africville. Did I pronounce that correctly? One of Nova Scotia's 52 historic Black communities. Miss Herriott enrolled in Nova Scotia Teachers College, the only institution of its time which specialized solely in teacher training in Canada, and Mount St. Vincent University, earning a Bachelor of Education and MEd with the focus in classical languages. That's heavy duty, y'all, but we're going to talk about that when I get to my questions. Y'all hit that share button, hit that retweet, let them know we here. Jacqueline began her public education, teaching, and administrative career in 1994 with her Halifax Regional School Board at the junior high level. She shortly afterwards spent a number of years teaching upper elementary 4th to 6th graders enrolled in the district's leadership development program, and began her years in administration as an elementary vice principal, moved to lead a primary primary to 9 schools. Soon after, Ms. Herriott was led to the Black Educators Association, and during her 20-year tenure with the association has assumed the roles of communications and strategic initiatives coordinator, assistant director of programs, executive director, I think is assistant director, executive director, leading to her current role of 10 plus years of director of programs, project operations and services of the Black Educators Association Nova Scotia, leading throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, notably with 0 infections of the 120 plus staff during its 3+ years entirety, where she spearheaded the regional educators program in 7 of 8 of the province's school districts. It's 30. That's a lot, y'all. 30 after-school programs located in historic Black communities across Nova Scotia. The Adult Learning Program, ALP, BEA's Project Summer Trades Camp, Math Camp, Virtual Math Academy. You see us a lot. All its operations, including rental properties, 8 regional offices of the BEA, that's Black Educators Association, across Nova Scotia, its services, its membership, and its community education committee across the province. She believes that these 4 pillars, seeking committed participants, purchasing power, establishing global connections, and professional development, are the keys to her organization's 55+ years of success. Last part, Ms. Herriott has presented for the Children's Aid Society and Federation of Foster Parents across Canada with the primary goal of advocating for Black children in foster care. She has been a long-standing member of Black Educators Association, is a founding member and immediate past president of Nova Scotia Alliance of Black School Educators, a coalition of Nova Scotian Black educators living throughout North America, which brings forward an educational agenda with strong ties to African Americans. Ms. Herriott is a member of Public School Administrators Association in Nova Scotia, who I had the pleasure of keynoting for last year, Black Educators Rock, which I'm a long-time member, a life member of the both National Alliance of Black School Educators, which I'm a long-time member, as well as the Texas Alliance of Black School Educators, which I'm not from Texas, but I'm a member of them too. From 2009 to 12, Jacqueline served as the International Regional Representative for NAPSI. Is NAPSI's 2019, and I cut off something, and I got to cut it there because I didn't end it at the end of the sentence, right? And that's Jacqueline Herriott, y'all. Now, keep in mind, I got more. Her bio is about this much longer, right? I couldn't fit all that, y'all. It's too much. Keep on doing what you do, Jacqueline. Jennifer Doyle, you here, Jennifer? Unmute for me.
Yes, I am. I'm on.
All right. Like I said, if you could put a picture in that profile, then I could get you.
Yes, I'm working on it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Jennifer Doyle is an esteemed educator. Listen to this, y'all, with over 50 years of invaluable experience across various levels with the education system in Trinidad and Tobago. Her professional journey has been deeply rooted in education and quality management, with notable roles as the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, as well as within the Division of School Supervision at the Ministry of Education as the director of one of the leading secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago. Throughout her illustrious career, Jennifer has distinguished herself globally, regionally, and locally for her unwavering dedication to high-quality, continuous professional development as the cornerstone of an educator's success. She is a passionate advocate and champion for cultivating positive school climates and nurturing student leadership and development, recognizing these as pivotal components for enhancing student learning, engagement, and motivation. Her commitment to excellence has taken her around the world to attend conferences in Singapore, Norway, USA, UK, Morocco, Italy, Germany, Curacao, and Belize, where she has continually sought out high-quality professional learning opportunities. She has represented the Ministry of Education and actively participated in numerous prestigious professional development programs, including the Nuffield Foundation Fellowship on International Education Systems at the University of Birmingham School of Education, as well as programs at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, focusing on improving quality in education systems, building quality schools. Additionally, Jennifer is engaged in workshops on total quality management and scenario programming at the Arthur Locke Jack Graduate School of Business. And finally, Jennifer holds a diploma in teaching with the distinction in practice, a BA degree in history and government, a diploma in education with a distinction in practice, secondary diploma in public education administration, and a master's of arts education. She is also certified as a lead auditor in quality management training course, and an ACTT external evaluator for post-secondary and tertiary level institutions within the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm gonna stop it right there because she's got a whole lot there too. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say that she was serves as executive director of the local affiliate of the ASCD, Association for Supervision Curriculum Development, Trinidad and Tobago. And then lastly, we got all the way from St. Eustatius, Dutch Caribbean, Christina Timber Glover, born on the historical island of St. Eustatius in the Dutch Caribbean. She has 3 amazing children, 2 adorable grand boys. She attended the John Wesley College in Aruba, then did the Teachers Training College in Amsterdam, Holland. She obtained her teaching degree in 1984, which will make her 40 years in education in June 2024. That's a long time. That's a long time. After teaching in the Netherlands for 6 years, she taught in elementary school on Scotia, which St. Eustatius is known as, for 20 years while guiding teachers in the classroom. She worked at the local education department with the main task of guiding teachers in new educational tools. Christina is a certified parent coach and gives parental workshops for parents, especially in parental involvement in their child's education. She's been the UNESCO, United Nations Educational Science Cultural Organization representative for the island of Scotia for over 25 years. That's big time. She's a reading specialist and a dyslexic facilitator responsible for all schools on the island, and works as the ambulatory guidance counselor. Some of her passion are performing arts, dancing. Jennifer, mute for me. Jennifer, mute for me. That's all right. She is president of the Foundation for Reinforcing Education, Arts, and Literature and Culture, and the director of Olay School for Performing Arts, director of Bethel Youth Choir in the local Methodist Church. Her life's motto: appreciate and let persons know they are appreciated. Woo! That's a lot, y'all. Y'all done some big things in your collective years. Hey, y'all, hit that share button, hit that retweet. We are international. You might not be able to see Jennifer Doyle. She's in Trinidad, Tobago, but you will be able to hear her voice. So, Jacqueline, let's get it started. I want to start with you, but I want to go back to something I read in your bio. So let me read it again. I see my Aunt Kathy Matthews bagging in the building. I always shout her out when I see her. It says Jacqueline was given up for adoption. Jennifer, mute for me. Oh my God. Jennifer, mute for me. Jennifer Doyle, mute for me. All right.
Yes, I have.
No, mute, because we can hear everything. Just hit the mute button for me until you come on. All right. So Jacqueline was given up for adoption at 2 months old by her birth mother, ordered in the care of the Children's Aid Society in Nova Scotia. She spent the next 21 years placed in the care of foster parents. Jacqueline grew up in rural Nova Scotia, living with foster parents as the sole black soul person in the region where she resided. I read this in the bio, but I want to isolate it now. She spent 18 years, 365 days each year, or just over 6,570 days until she enrolled in a college as the sole person of her race, and has spoken widely about her early existence, of which she defines as being in a state of black solitary confinement, enduring acts of racial hatred throughout the entirety of those years. So Jacqueline, let's talk. I want to ask you something. Given what I just read, and I read it twice, did you have any familiarity when you were growing up, at whatever age between birth and 18, of the history, of the struggles, of the triumphs, of the experiences of Black people in Nova Scotia, or Black people in Canada, but particularly Black people in Africville or anywhere around the globe? Did you have any knowledge of their existence outside of your own existence as a Black young child?
Good morning, King Kafele and international family. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay. So I didn't initially, I'll say that my first 8 years or so, I didn't see anybody who looked like me. When I moved to Hardwood Lands, it's in rural Nova Scotia, we had cable television at that time, so there was only 2 stations. And whatever year Roots came out, it was in the 80s. That's when I first saw first Black person I ever saw. So you can imagine growing up in high school, well, junior high and high school, and Roots being on, I was called everything that was Black and related to that, including Kunta Kinte, who was a man at the time. So I did become familiar also through TV with, I think it was called Different Strokes, Different World. But they were kind of very much making fun of Black people, and not in a good way. It was not a good, I knew Black folks, but it wasn't a good thing. So my first 18 years, I hated and despised myself, because everything around me that was Black was made fun of. It was said in a disgusting light. One of the favored names of the kiddos, they would call me porch monkey. I didn't even know what a porch monkey was. And of course, I was called the N-word every day, including by my friends. The principal didn't say it, but he just said, you are and he wouldn't say the word. So that was my grade 6 principal. So I was aware of Black people and that they existed, but I didn't know anybody. So when I first went to teachers college, I met the first person, and I saw an actual person for the first time when I was heading on a bus to go practice teaching. So we became close friends. And at the time, there was only 4 other people in the university or 3 other folks, including myself. So I became quite friendly with those folks. And then I was able to get out into the town. And those are the folks that I first began seeing people like me. And so I still really hated myself, though. And I was amazed by the fact that I could see other people who now look like me. So those first years, I was everything that was darky, Negro, porch monkey, Kunta Kinte, all the nasty names that are related to Blackness. But then when I moved into the college life and now got to meet Black folks as a lighter skinned Black person, I was now called light, bright, and almost white, and high yellow, and everything else. So I'll stop there for a quick second, but in case you want to interject.
Yeah. So therefore, and I'm gonna stay with you for a minute. Jacqueline, I think about a lot of, and I think that this applies to most of us as human beings. A lot of who we are as adults is inspired by experiences we had getting to this point. So make no mistake about it. Whomever Biographical Kafele is, Principal Kafele is, that little guy is in me, right? And when I look into my mirror, I see him, right? That teenager is in me. When I look into my mirror, I see him. I see him in real time. That 20-something, that 30-something, that 40-something, that 50-something, and now 60-something, 63. I see that guy when I go to my mirror. Sometimes I'm not thinking about him, but when I go to the mirror, I am. So I'm saying that to say this. When I became a principal, all them decades came with me, right? So I wasn't just what the textbook said I have to be to lead a school. I wasn't just what the textbook said I had to be to teach a class. That all them decades before, they came with me to the classroom. They came with me to the school. So I'm saying all that to build a bridge to ask you this question. Talk to us about, in what ways did those experiences that you just gave us, in what ways did those influence, inspire who you became as an educator?
So I think because I was viewed by everybody as less than, folks thought I was intelligent. My mom thought I was intelligent. My father thought I was intelligent, but they didn't think I was attractive. And they didn't think I looked good. And they didn't think I should wear a certain type of hair if it was too ethnic. So I naturally didn't think that I was better than anybody. So I think that has greatly influenced the way I look at people. I don't feel that I'm better. I now don't feel that I'm any less, but I don't think I'm prejudgmental based on weight, based on whether you're light skin, whether you're brown skin. I have relatives that are on the very lightest end to the very darkest end of the scale. I don't think ability. I don't judge on ability. And no one told me these things. I just felt like everybody deserves respect and appreciation. So when the word tolerated came, I still didn't feel that we should tolerate people. We have to appreciate them. So I think those things, because I was viewed as the least appealing person on the planet, at least in my area, I then didn't think that anyone was any less. So I sort of look up to everybody in a way. I guess I'll say it that way. I look up to them and feel that there's no one. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million or if you have $1,000. I don't think you're better or less than me. I don't think that you're better or less than someone else. And those experiences for me, living in Shubenacadie or Milford, it's a rural area. So there's like Enfield, Elmsdale, Shubenacadie. They're historically predominantly Caucasians. There is a Mi'kmaq community in Indian Brook. It is a historic community for Mi'kmaq people. We're close to me. So even those folks had a community, but it was just me. And if you can imagine about 6,700 days by yourself, you start to appreciate your intelligence. I didn't think I looked good, but I also, when I began teaching, I loved the kids. I just loved them. It didn't matter what they brought. I loved them. Some days I didn't like how they were. I'd say, I don't like how you're acting. I think that way, but I just had a genuine love for people. That's what I think helped from my humble beginnings, or the way that where I was raised and how I was raised.
And Dr. Houston's asking, are you still there?
Oh, am I still here? You mean, can you hear me?
No. Are you in terms of where you reside?
Oh, yes. I still, oddly enough, I used to play in the woods out there, but my mom passed away and she left her homestead to me. So that is where I reside, or that's my home front, and that's my security, and where I come up with my notions on my back step. And I love it nowadays. But it is interesting because the people that used to, can't really get into all the things, but one of my neighbors lives down the hill from me, and his two boys were the two boys that tried to, they tied me to a tree and were going to burn the tree. So with me in the tree. So they live down the hill from me, and it's seeing people today, they go, oh, you're Jackie? You're Jackie? You live up the hill? You're the Jackie that we taunted and tormented all those decades ago. So wow. I still live there, but it's my homeland, and I love it. Absolutely love the place. I'm still there, but I travel all over the place, as some of you see.
Yeah. Hey, let's leave Nova Scotia and let's take a trip to Trinidad and Tobago, and we go to Jennifer Doyle. To the fam out there, we're international today, so connection issues can happen with the internet. So I'm glad we have her audio. We just don't have her video, so you can't see her, but she is here in the building. And I believe Jennifer's family as well with the AP and New Principals Academy. So Jennifer, I just want to read a passage from the bio that I just read, because my questions are going to emanate out of them. Your bio reads that you are an esteemed educator with over 50 years of invaluable experience across various levels within the education system in Trinidad and Tobago. Her professional journey has been deeply rooted in education and quality management, with notable roles as the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, as well as within the Division of School Supervision at the Ministry of Education, and as the director of one of the leading secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago. So with that said, Jennifer, I wanted to ask you, 50 years to me, I think about the 21 years that I did in public education before doing this full-time speaking and consulting. 50 years being in that space almost seems unimaginable for me. That's a long time doing the work you've done. So my question is a two-parter. What brought you into education, Jennifer, and what keeps you going? Because it doesn't say 50 years, it says 50 plus years. So what is it? What is it that keeps you going?
Okay. I came into education. First, let me start off. I am from a background of educators. Okay. My father was a principal at the primary school level. I had three sisters, who were also in education, and the love and passion that I saw in some of my teachers really inspired me into wanting to become a teacher, all right, an educator. And as I indicated in my bio, just my love for my passion for education, my love for learning, my love for conducting research, and really being at the cutting edge of things that really inspired me to be that lifelong learner that I am. As I said, 50 plus years, and I am still going strong as a lifelong learner.
And you know, and that last part you just said, that's the powerful part. You said, and still going strong as
Yes.
a lifetime learner. You know, that's a lifelong learner, and that's a powerful thing. You know, I'm hoping that just, you know, until just throughout the next several decades, that I'm still going strong in the work that I do, you know, and it doesn't mean I got to be living on airplanes all my life, but just still being right there in the mix in terms of education. You know, I got a second part for you. You know, you said you were in the bio, you were director of one of the leading schools in Trinidad and Tobago. My question is, what made this school a leading school, and what was the significance of your leadership in the school being a leading school?
Okay. It is categorized as one of the leading schools in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, as most in society would say, because of its academic performance. But for me, it is a quality institution in the sense of not only what it offers academically, but the all around, the holistic development of the students. All right. That desire for getting quality outcomes in all aspects of school life. And not only for the students, for members of staff, for the parents as well. And the security staff, the entire school community is one that we all focus on quality at the school, all right? And really communicating the strong values and the success of the school in both academic and mainly non-academic areas.
Yeah, I want to stay with you, and I see Michelle Brown. She just wrote a holistic development. Love that. Um, there's so many places, Jennifer, and particularly when I know America, North America, well, U.S. better than I know anywhere else, and there's so much emphasis in the U.S. on test scores, and this is the season right now. We're going into it, the spring season, where there's just this strong push to make sure that test scores can be as high as they can possibly be. But here, you prefaced your remarks by saying, yeah, it was academically high performing, and you talked about that whole well-rounded, holistic approach to approaching young people. Our audience, our core audience, is a lot of young administrators, a lot of aspiring administrators, a lot of new administrators. Talk to us, Jennifer, with that 50 plus years experience in the context of that holistic approach, that well-rounded approach. Talk to us about the significance of never losing sight of the whole child versus the assessment portion of the child.
Yes. Now, one of the strong areas that we focused on a great deal was student leadership and development, and getting as well the appropriate school climate as well as professional learning for members of staff. You see, once you have that positive school climate in place, you have students' voice, student development programs, and you focus on professional learning, not only of yourself as a school leader, but on the members of your staff. I want to tell you that the academic success is going to come.
Mm.
All right. So you don't just solely focus on the academic success. But once you get a positive school climate, you have that right school culture, you engage in your professional learning, and your students are involved at all levels. And you do your regular school climate surveys and work on the results that you have found from those surveys, you are going to get positive student learning outcomes. All right? It is going to show you the areas where you need to put more resources. It is going to show you whatever concerns the students have. And once all those areas are addressed, the academic success will come gradually.
I love it. I love it. And that, you know, we can't say that enough, right? As long as, and particularly again in the US, that everything is testing, but we're not looking at the whole child, that child will probably leave from us underdeveloped, right? Because we didn't touch on all the necessary components or aspects of that youngster. So I love everything you said. I want to now take a flight over to
Principal Kafele, just before I move on.
Yeah.
One of the areas that I think we need to really focus on is that the curriculum that is offered. And that was one of the things that we focused on up at this school. Yes, you had the traditional curriculum, but we did an extensive curriculum review where the students and the parents were telling us what subjects they would like to see on the curriculum. So that curriculum review that was done in combination with the school climate survey really served us in good stead in pointing us into the direction. Students said they wanted music, they want agriculture, they want cosmetology. They were telling us about the non-traditional areas that they wanted, and we adhered and we got success.
Wow. You know, that's worth repeating. Hey, somebody out there, hey, fam out there, again, a survey to ask the parents, community, what do you feel we need? What do you want to see for young people to have exposure to? That's powerful. That's powerful because now there's a higher probability that young people can take ownership of the learning, because we're talking about that which is of interest. We know that there are core subject areas that everybody has to learn, but what a beautiful thing when you've also you're also culturally relevant, right, in terms of curriculum and instruction. And that's what I'm hearing from you. Man, we got a lot of people on here. Let's take a quick airplane flight over to St. Eustatius. And Christina, I'm stuttering. I took something from the internet and I wanted to share it real quick, and then because I just want to give a sense of the island, but then I want you to fill in the blanks, right? Before we even get to content. I met Christina, y'all, Christina Timber Glover. Let me put her name on the screen at one of the ASCD conferences, and she blessed me, her and a team, with seeing that I had something that could contribute to the educational system out there. So I flew out there, but I want to share a conversation we had. She said, "Now, when you come out, I want you to understand we don't have cruise ships at St. Eustatius, right? This is a very small island." She said, "You're not gonna fly the big jet over to us because we don't. It's not that kind of island. We're small, so you got to fly. You fly the jet to St. Martin, and then you catch a smaller prop plane over to St. Eustatius. But what a beautiful island! It's just small. It's like, let me read this to you. St. Eustatius measures 6 miles long and 3 miles wide. The island is dominated by 2 extinct volcanoes, with a flat central plain separating the two. St. Eustatius, affectionately known as Scotia, was first sighted in 1493 by Christopher Columbus. Throughout the colonial era that followed, the island changed hands at least 22 times. In 1636, near the close of the 80 Years' War between Holland and Spain, the Dutch took possession of the island. English remains the dominant language, but stations also speak Dutch as it's taught in school as a second language, and many speak Spanish and Papiamento. Capimento, which it doesn't say here, but it's a combination of, say, Spanish and English and French and African languages, and Dutch. The majority of the population of the island is comprised of descendants of African slaves and the mulatto population of the 18th century. The current population is 3,242 people. With that said, anything that was inaccurate or anything you want to add to that?
We have grown over the years, Principal Kafele. Thank you for that wonderful introduction of St. Eustatius. We have grown over the years to approximately almost 4,000 persons. Oh. Yeah, so that's good. You still fly the small prop plane. We have more persons because of our tourism and the dive centers that we have on the island. So you get a little more tourism into the island. No cruise ships as yet.
Yeah, not yet, but it's coming.
Ones.
Yeah, good stuff. But I would, just to say to the fam out there, St. Eustatius, you want to go somewhere quiet and you just want to chill. That's it right there. Right? You don't need a ship. You don't need a big jet. Just go on out there. And I had the time I was there, I had a great time. I got to get back. Hey, Jennifer, mute for me because I think you're coming through on. I think that's Jennifer. All right, so Christina, let's jump into it. 40 years in education. That's a long time. Just as I said with Jennifer, 40 is a long time. My question to you: what is the motivation for staying in this profession for as long as you have?
Principal Kafele, I'm happy that you asked that question. As my bio read, I did my teaching degree in the Netherlands, and I taught there for 6.5 years, and then decided to return home to Scotia. It was for me an exciting moment to come back and contribute to my island, but it was not what I thought for the first few months. And then eventually my dad got sick and you decided to stay a little longer. But what motivated me and what was strong is the impact that an educator can have on children's lives. And when I realized what I could contribute and what my assets can do for children, that made me remain on Scotia and eventually took children home in the afternoon to give them extra guidance. Probably for our audience, when I was growing up, at 12 years, you had to leave your parents' home, safe arms, to attend secondary or high school on another island. Our education system only went until 12 years old, up to 6th grade. Now, when I came back, that was totally different. And when I realized the impact or the input and my contribution that I could make to students in getting them to excel to levels that we didn't know of on our island in my time growing up, that is what made me become, stay in the position, made me love the position, made me don't want to go anywhere, and eventually became a teacher's coach. And so over the years, there's no other profession. It might seem a little cliche, but there's no other profession I didn't really wanted to do or go out besides being in education and as an educator.
Wow. I feel the same way. There's Christina, there's a lot of days when I ask myself, what else do you want to do with your time here on earth? And my mind just wanders to different things. Oh, you could try this, you could try that, but I only want to be in education. There's no incentive to leave and start a business doing something that doesn't have something to do with education. This is really all I want to do with my life. So I can certainly relate to that.
Yeah, and Principal Kafele, before I leave, one of the things that make me really super excited and gets me motivated is when I see students that I taught in first grade are holding positions, being self-sufficient, being responsible citizens of whether this community or the community in Holland, any other community that they live in. That gives you the motivation and the drive to continue, because you know that whatever little input you had or little contribution you could have made, at least you lay the foundation. You've been a strong foundation builder, and that continue to motivate and continue to drives me.
You know, speaking of that, let me stay there with you, because I do have a part two here. But before I get to it, talk to us about when a youngster in Scotia graduates from high school. Talk to us about that next step for those that want to go on to college.
Well, when you graduate from our high school, a lot of our students go to the Netherlands. We have an affiliation. We are a special municipality of the Netherlands. So most of our students go to the Netherlands. Family relatives are there, older brothers and sisters. So there's a sort of familiarity. You also have the scholarship that you receive is also a little much more, how should I say, you can come by with it. If you choose to go to the United States, which is also a possibility, your parents have to give a little more financial assistance. And of course, not all parents do have the opportunity and possibility to do that. So hence, a lot of our students choose to go to the Netherlands. We also have some students bridge the gap and they go to St. Martin, which is next door. Some go to Bonaire. A lot have been going to Bonaire since we have the same constitutional status. So you have a few that goes to Bonaire and some that go to Curacao. Very few now go to Aruba. But the majority of our students go to the Netherlands because of the familiarity that they have and because of family and relative ties. So after you graduate from here, those are the options that you have.
Good stuff. You know, just a quick departure. Jennifer, I'm just reading what Francine wrote, which is why I put it up here. She said, she's from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. She said, is it possible that the privacy clip on the laptop itself is destructing your camera? Right. So whatever, you know, if you want to check that out as well, that's always a possibility too. Right. Last thing, just a fun fact. Because of my love of history and because of my love of the great Marcus Mosiah Garvey, when I was at St. Eustatius, fam, just riding around, learning, you know, seeing the island, there's a marker there that is dedicated to Marcus Garvey, that he was on the island for whatever the reason. So they marked it just to show people, you know, this is where he was at the time that he was there. The great Marcus Garvey, one of the people that I admire in the history of Black people on the globe. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. Last thing, Christina, just talk to us briefly about the difference between teaching in the Netherlands and teaching in Scotia.
Wow, that's a big one. Teaching in the when I went to the teachers training college, I was taught to differentiate, not one size fits all. And growing up, teaching in the Netherlands, that was one of the key factors that you were educated by. That was one of the key factors that you had to do in the teachers training college. So for the 6 years that I lived in the Netherlands and taught in the Netherlands, that was what I had to do. When I came back home 30 plus years ago, it was difficult because we taught in whole class. Over the years, I must say that differentiation is a key. For some of our audience, we are inspected by the Dutch education department. So we have to build up some of our standards to the Dutch level. Now, differentiation is an awesome thing. Why? Is because you get to specifically cater to each child needs, and each child count. And in preparing your lesson plan, that is what you have in mind. And so those are the two different, of course, language, because we instruct in the English language. And because of our ties, we emphasize Dutch as a second strong language. Um, our classrooms have been upgraded to meet the level, I shouldn't say the level of the Netherlands, but a better educational environment and atmosphere for the students. So that has been a struggle over the years, that you can say that that was a big comparison to the Netherlands. And now we are funded by the Dutch education platform, financial platform. So they subsidize all educational departments. And so a lot of things are being elevated in a positive way.
Yeah. And just for the benefit of the audience, as I transition back to Jacqueline, when I was on the island those two times, I think it was two.
Yes, it
Uh,
was.
yeah, when I was on the island those two times, and this is to the fam, and I was in the schools. I got the high school on my mind on this statement I want to make. When I was with the high school students, remember, this is the island of a little over 4,000 people now. I literally felt like I was back home in the States. Like when we talk about pop culture, they weren't behind the times, right? And we're talking about a very small island, 4,000 people, 6 miles by 3 miles. But in being around the students and the things that they knew about the world in terms of pop culture, it wasn't like I went in there thinking, all right, they're not gonna know a lot of these things. No, they knew everything, and that's because the internet has brought the world together. So the young people were familiar with everything that was current, So I just want to give that just as another backdrop to understand that we're not talking about some isolated island and the kids are isolated from the world and they don't know what's going on in the world. No, they very much knew what was going on around the world around them in terms of what their interests may be, right? So, and anything I missed with that, Christina? I want to be
No,
accurate.
you got it. You got it all right. I
Yeah.
just wanted to add, because you asked the question about after high school, where the children go. What we have been having now for the past, I think probably a year and a half, is that you have an organization here that is affiliated with another organization, and I'm not too sure what the name is, in the United States, and they offer partly scholarship for students in various areas. So we have quite a few students going in volleyball, in I'm not sure, basketball, baseball. So you have some students with the help of that local organization, which is doing a phenomenal job, and the organization in the United States are giving some of the high school students the opportunity to study in America as well.
Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Let's go to these talking points. I had taken everything that you all sent me and put them on so we can look at them. I want you all to feel free to jump into each other's talking points as we go. So Jennifer, I didn't get a chance to tell you that because you weren't on with us yet, but anything that you see on the screen from this point forward, feel free to weigh in. So let me start with Jacqueline on this one because this was yours. You said, Jacqueline, accountability is a vital trait of admired leaders that ensures clarity, shared goals, and builds trust within your unit, within your team. I share the same notion. Could you tell us, what are you saying to us through that particular point?
I was always a person who could apologize from my early beginnings. Nobody talked to me about it, telling me you got to apologize. So I look at it as being able to apologize or accept the results, take the initiative to say, look, I'm sorry. So within the Black Educators Association, or when I was in my classroom, when I was the school principal, vice principal, even if it wasn't me that actually did something, and I know very well I really didn't have anything to do with it, I often say, well, I take responsibility for that, or I'm sorry that occurred, or, the group, let's not focus on this individual. And if no one's willing to step up and say, hey, I did it, it doesn't really matter who did it, but Jackie will say, look, It's because I'm the leader. I have to accept that it was my fault that it occurred. And basically you move from that and apologize to people and say, how can I make it right? And so I know that I didn't do something, but I will say, you know what? It was my fault. Or, oh, I missed that, or that was something I should have picked up on. And it allows people to see that you can take accountability, that you can take responsibility, that you're accepting, and you're not pointing the finger at anybody. So I kind of always did that as a kid. I could always apologize. But as I moved into schools, and whether it was the Black Educators Association, the elementary school, never taught in a high school, but junior high school, I said, yeah, it was me. And folks, and a lot of times I know it wasn't me. And sometimes I had a part to play in it, or sometimes it really was me. And I go, oops, geez, I did that. And it just makes us human. It makes you relatable. It makes people accept you. On your hardest day, there could be 15 things that go wrong. There could be 100 things that go wrong. So you just accept the notion that you did it, that I was responsible for it. And I might not be able to fix it, but I'll go to somebody and say, hey, can you help me with this? You know, I messed that up. And lots of times we'll be laughing behind the scenes saying, yeah, we know it was this person. We know it was them, but Jackie takes it on. So as a leader, I think you have to do that. It makes you humble. It makes you relatable. It makes you real.
You know, when you said, you know, the whole statement stood out for me. And like every time I get these talking points, I kind of rank them in terms of the ones that resonate with me most. So you'll notice that the ones you sent are going to be out of sequence. But this one I kept as number one. But you know what stood out for me out of everything you wrote in this one was the two words admired leaders, right? What was the incentive for you to say, as opposed to just writing accountability is the vital trait of leaders that ensures clarity, blah, blah, blah. What made you insert the word admired?
People look up to you. They appreciate you. And that's one of my favorite words, appreciating you. They may not always like what I do. Sometimes I have to tell people no. Sometimes I have to say I can't do that. But the folks that I report to and that report to me know that I will either take accountability for it, and I will be the person that will stand there for them, with them, beside them. And sometimes I look around and they're not there, but they're kind of on the sidelines, but they're still there. So they know that I'm going to stand there for them. And I know that they don't always like what I decided, but they can live with me and they can work with me, not live with me in my home necessarily, but live with the decision I made. And they'll know that I'm not going to hold a grudge, and I'm going to come back, and I might have been grouchy for a few seconds, but I don't hold grudges. And I think it makes people appreciate you, love you. It's about loving people, not always about liking them. So I think you have to be, as a leader, you have to be admired. You have to be a role model, a good one. And not all the time are you perfect. You have flaws, we have challenges, we have bad days, we have bad moments, but I try not to stay in them too long. And I try to exude that. So I think admiring somebody means you're liking them, you're respecting them, and you're appreciating them.
So Jackie, if I'm admired as a leader, does it add value to my leadership relative to the people I'm leading?
I think so. Yes, it helps people. I have often had folks, one of the examples would be the Regional Educators Program Provincial Spelling Bee. It's an 20-year project, but 18 years in the works. And at the beginning, folks would say, a multitude of folks close to me, around me, parents, neighbors, other educators, oh, you can't do that. I don't think you can do that. I'm not sure you can do that. And eventually, I did do it. They believe in me. They're still by my side. Some of them had doubts along the way. They didn't necessarily appreciate what I was doing at the time, but see the latter end where I'm at now and where we're at as a group of people. So I think if you stick with your plan, if you decide that you're going to do something, you don't necessarily tell everybody exactly everything you're doing, because they're not always going to be in favor. They're sometimes going to talk you down and say, you can't make that happen. And as a leader, if you let the folks, if you delegate and let them do for you, and if they can't always, if the person can't do something, basically they have to go find someone else to do it.
Yeah. See, because there's an expression, people say, I don't need people to like me, I just need them to respect me. But my position, and I agree with that. But my position is, but if they like me, or if they like this leader, there's a higher probability that they're going to buy into that leader. See, I can respect you without buying into you, but if I like you, then there's a higher chance I'm going to buy into your leadership as well, not just respect you professionally, right? So, and that's why, you know, again, when you said admire, that that resonated with me. It really did. It really did.
Keep in mind, they're not always going to admire you all the time, but overall, admiration.
I mean, we're going to be in situations where, you know, because some people we just don't like, and we don't really know why we don't like them. We just don't like them, right? So I mean, and some people don't like me, right? And I'm good with that, you know, because we're not all going to love each other. But in terms of that organization, that school, that district, whatever it is, and when you got somebody that I don't, not only do I respect you, but I admire you, man, we can elevate that thing now, right? Anybody want to weigh in? Don't feel compelled, but if you want to, Jennifer or Christina, feel free.
Okay. I like the point of raised on accountability and leadership. However, I believe it is also going to tie in with being admired as well. If leaders really engage in what we call culturally proficient leadership, all right? And it is the kind of mindset that you have as an individual leader, how you are going to interact with your students, how you're going to interact with your staff, how you're going to interact with your school community, really understanding you as the individual and having that respect for the diversity of personnel who are within your school community. Okay? So, for instance, most countries worldwide, likewise in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a diverse student population. Okay? And within recent years, it is becoming, we have increased numbers. For instance, when we had the earthquake in Haiti, we accepted families, students from there. And recently, we have an influx of migrants from our nearest South American neighbor. Okay? How do we as school leaders now interact with those personnel to ensure that there is equity? That whole issue of fairness, providing the students with the needs that they want, okay? And as a leader, I have to keep asking myself what are some of the things that are happening out there in the schools that will cause me to judge my students. If let's say I am attending a school, I am leader of a school in a different locality, how do I view that community as I drive through it? Do I understand that community? What it is I'm seeing, what it is I'm thinking. When I get into the school with those students, am I judging those students solely based on the environment that I just drove through? How am I really interacting with the members of my staff? How do I encourage or provide the wherewithal for members of my staff to interact fairly? Because members of my staff may not necessarily come from the community that they are teaching in. All right? How do I really get them not to prejudge, have all these notions about their language, about class, social class, etc., so that we can really provide equity and get the desired student learning outcomes? We can get the students to maximize their fullest potential, as we always like to say. And all those things are grounded in my type of leadership that I exhibit or I encourage at the level of the school. All right. So having that belief and knowing who I am and how I react to certain situations, and what are some of the things about my community and my student population, my staff, that I must understand. But first, I must have my beliefs and have my understanding so that I can demonstrate and really show it on to others around. In that way, you're going to be admired, you know. You are culturally proficient, you are demonstrating that type of leadership, you are going to be respected, and you are going to be admired for that whole issue of equity and treating the students as they so rightly deserve. So that accountability, yes, the accountability is going to come once I am culturally proficient.
Wow, that's a lot. Jennifer, as I listened to everything you said, the two thoughts that popped into my head and stayed there while you were speaking were core beliefs and core values. And I'm thinking about the fam that's watching this viewing with us right now, because we have a lot of younger leaders that tune in every Saturday. And if you don't have, and I'm just saying this based on what I heard from you as I discern what you were saying, if you're not walking into that building or that district, that organization with certain core beliefs that are yours, core values that are yours, then there's an emptiness there. And because I may have my beliefs, they may not necessarily be the beliefs of the world, but I gotta be rooted in that which I believe, and I have certain beliefs. And I'm gonna say this to you, Jennifer, that when you talk about being culturally relevant, culturally competent, culturally responsive, that's at my core. I can't do and equitable. You use that word. I can't do this work without those things manifesting in my work. I can't do it. I can't be Principal Kafele. I would be an imitation of myself. So I'm with you there. Those core beliefs, core values, core guiding principles, the way we go about doing things, they just matter. So everything you said, just it complemented so much of this point that's on the screen that Jacqueline wrote. I love it. And there's a part of me that's saying, move on, because we could literally stay on this one talking point and never leave it, because there's so much to exhaust with that. But I'll make sure that I get everybody else's points in here too. But I appreciate that. Christina, did you have anything, or we good? We good. Okay. So let me go on. Let me go to Jennifer here. And Jennifer, you said school climate. School leaders can play a pivotal role in cultivating a positive school climate that supports the well-being and success of all members of the school community. Now, Jennifer, before you go, right, because I just want you to expound on this. I got something inside of me that's saying that I left something hanging. Let me holler at this audience real quick. Listen, y'all. I said something, but I didn't give it a lot of thought. When I said it, I just said it. Your core beliefs and your core values, right? To the audience out there, I won't preach this. I'll wait till I do a solo in May, because I got a solo coming up in May on here. The first Saturday in May is our 4th anniversary. I'm going solo that Saturday. But listen, you got to be rooted and grounded in what you believe. It doesn't mean that you can't evolve into. It doesn't mean that you're not going to continue to evolve and to change and to morph and so forth with the times. But in real time, you got to have your core set of beliefs. And in real time, you've got to have your core values. Because if you don't have those core values, then you can be compromised, right? And I bring certain values, not only to the work that I did as a principal, I bring certain values to this platform on Saturday morning. I'm me. And I'm not trying to be like, there's a million podcasters out here, live streamers. I ain't trying to be none of them. I'm just going to bring my authentic self, wearing my Negro Leagues jersey every Saturday morning, right? And I'm bringing my values to the platform. So I'm asking you, without you responding, unless you want to put it in the thread, what are your core beliefs? Here's the mirror. And what are your core values as a leader? And are they, and will you allow them to be compromised? So you got to stand on something, right? Enough said. Let me go back to Jennifer. I just had to throw that in there, man. Jennifer said, once again, school climate, school leaders can play a pivotal role in cultivating a positive school climate that supports the well-being and success of all members of the school community. What are you saying to us, Jennifer?
What I'm saying there is that the school leader's role is pivotal in establishing that positive school climate that you want to have with positive, successful student learning outcomes. Okay? As I stated before, sometime around 2018, we would have conducted a school climate survey up at the school where I was the director. Okay? As the leader, I found it necessary to have that school climate because there are things that I see and there are things that I didn't see. All right? There are things that I would know and I don't know. All right? There are things that would have been spoken about, the unspoken. I wanted to find out what really was the tone of the school. How did my parents, how did my students, how did members of my staff and the school community feel about the school? Were we really, as most would think, a school that had a positive school climate? Was it one that, like, as we would say locally, everything looked rosy and nice, but then we wanted to cover what was really happening underneath? So that school climate survey was done in 2018, and it really brought revealing results that the principals of the schools, based on the data collected and analyzed, were able to ascertain the level of belongingness. How did students really feel about the school? How did staff feel about the school? How did parents feel about the school? It also brought a great deal of information to us on whether effective teaching and learning, those things were really taking place, and what we had to do about it. What was also instructive, there are two schools on the same compound, an all-girls school and an all-boys school. And there was a stark difference in the results of the school climate at the girls' school as opposed to the boys' school. The bottom line is, it was necessary for us to find out, do I really like my school? What were the areas of the school that students felt were unsafe? Did they feel safe if they had to travel the street to come to the school? What were some of the things that were impacting upon their learning? And how did the teachers themselves feel about several of the areas, the behaviors that we looked at, and so other core areas that are in the school climate? The bottom line is, when we got the results, we focused on improving the aspects of it. Okay? And in 3 years' time, another survey was expected to be done to compare those results. Important as well, the school climate surveys are part of the norm here in Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry of Education recently issued a school climate survey for all students, forms 1 to 3, to participate in. So it was not just a sole idea at the school where I was, but the Ministry of Education as a whole has been encouraging schools, school leaders, training them as well, in conducting school surveys and recognizing the value of the data collected towards school improvement.
So what I'm hearing then, the bottom line was the emphasis on data, on information,
Yes.
as opposed to just making emotional decisions as it relates to the school climate, school culture, in this case, school climate. I love it. Anybody want to jump in?
Yes, what I admire about what you said, Jennifer, is that the surveys were not done, but you did something with the results from the survey.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I think that is to be recommended. When I do my parent training and guidance, is one of the things that you ask parents to be open about. They have their survey, you do your survey, but to be open about the school climate, the school culture that your student attend, that your child attend. What are the things that you like? What are the things that are strong? What are the things that you feel less comfortable about? And those are key things to enhance the social and emotional well-being of our students, which for me is a really essential part of the holistic approach. The social emotional development and the social emotional well-being of our students, as well as having our students feel safe. Our parents as
Yes.
well, because they send their child to that education, to that school, but you want your students to feel safe. You want them to feel comfortable, which enhances in return their social and emotional well-being. So this is
Yes.
a topic that, Principal Kafele, we can stay until 4 o'clock to talk
Yeah,
about what
Yeah.
or later. Or
I
later.
agree.
yeah, what
I
I
agree
really
with
what I really do admire, Jennifer, is not just having a survey done, but what you do with the results from that survey. And I think that is important for the improvement of the education and the school that you do the survey in. So I want to thank you for sharing that with us.
I
Yes,
love it. I
I
love
think I like what you said about the social and emotional well-being of all involved, the students, the parents, and the staff. Because if parents visit your school and the survey is showing they believe the school doesn't have a welcoming environment, that is telling you something as the leader that that's an area
Correct.
you need to work on. One of the
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses we got was that of belongingness. Okay, only 50% of the girls felt a sense of belongingness. 36% of the boys felt a sense of belongingness. And we said, okay, that is an area. We discussed it. What are some of the strategies we must put in place to foster belongingness? And we would work on those things.
Yeah. Another thing I want to jump in really is the sense of ownership,
Yes.
not only for the school leaders, but for the students
Mm-hmm.
as well as the parents to foster a
Yes.
sense of ownership. And what do we do to encourage the sense of ownership? What are the tools?
Yep.
What are the skills that we gave both the parents as well as the students to have this sense of ownership? Because we are
Yeah.
all in this together. And once we have this sense of ownership, then I think it has a lot of positive benefits. So that is something that we really need to take along with us on the school climate as well as the school culture, a sense of ownership. And how do we contribute? What are the things that we could enhance to assist us with the school over the sense of ownership and as well as belonging. So that's another key pointer that should be taken, as well as that we should pay attention to when we speak about the school climate and the school culture.
Hey,
Yeah.
let me jump in here and say to the fam, look, it's 12:36 Eastern time. These numbers are popping. And you might want to hit that share button. You might want to hit that retweet. You might want to hit that repost. If somebody didn't know that slang I just used, these numbers are exploding. right? It's people on here. So let somebody else know. Hit them Facebook groups up, those leadership groups. Let them know. Tag somebody, text somebody, call somebody. We got that international women's flavor in here today, and it's popping, man. It's popping. Let me go to Christina here with number 3. You said love the opportunity for persons, youngsters, to have an opportunity or possibilities where they can express themselves in any area they enjoy. My interpretation of that is student voice. Let me hand it over to you, Christina. What are you saying?
Yeah, I love the key factor of student involvement. We are catering to students and not only to the main subject. Of course, that matters. Reading, writing, arithmetic, that matters. But once we have the holistic approach, and I'm speaking about a holistic approach, in encouraging students to express themselves in areas that they feel comfortable. And that's where differentiation comes in. If a student feels comfortable in expressing himself through song, through poetry, through dance, on a specific area, let us cater those opportunities and those needs for those students to express themselves. It enhances, and it's all tying in. And I love what Melissa Jones said. It doesn't matter what continent we are in, we share almost all the same factors and ideas. But coming back to the topic, too often we limit our students to the main subject areas. We tend to hold back a little bit of the differentiation, especially on areas where students can evolve, where students can be expressive, and getting back to the key point that you want to elaborate on, that you want to enhance, that you want to teach them on. So I reinforce, I encourage teachers, I suggest it to give students the opportunity to express themselves in any area respectfully, in any area that they see fit, as long as it can bring over their idea and it can enhance their social, emotional well-being, as well as the educational and the academic aspect.
I love it. That's student voice, and oftentimes a youngster could be in a school, in a classroom, and my world outside of school is very different from the world of the teacher that's in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And because our worlds are so different, can I still utilize my voice, or is it being suppressed because it's not consistent with the adult in the room? Right. So what I hear you saying is that student voice, it just absolutely matters. But before I say another word or invite any of you to come in, I was just reminded here, hey, somebody hit that like button. That like button is what activates the algorithms. And I tend to forget to say that. I always say hit the share and retweet and all that. But hit that like, even if you dislike, hit that like button. Right. The like button is what tells the algorithms that there are things happening here. And sometimes, folks need to see that on their feed, that there are things happening that they're not even aware that they're going on. So with that said, anybody want to jump in on number 3?
Okay. Yeah, I will jump in here because student voice, student leadership and development, those are areas that I am really passionate about. Okay. Those areas really focus on empowerment of the students. It is developing leadership skills in our future generation of leaders. All right. And once we have it in a sort of organized, a structured way,
yeah,
student voice and student leadership development can really blossom. It can curb indiscipline issues. It can help with administrative areas, generally improve the culture and the climate of the school. All right. And as a school leader, it is imperative that we provide the opportunities, create those platforms for the voices of students to be heard, for students to be able to participate in some of the decision makings, whether we do it through a suggestion box, whether we have a meeting with the student council, or online platforms, whichever route we may want to go. Developing your students and giving them that voice would go a long way in improving conditions at the school. It also gives the students a sense of confidence and well-being, that they are accepted and they are recognized. All right. Now, I would admit I have never been a principal of a school. Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
We're
You
here.
hearing me?
We're here. Jacqueline, we're here.
Yes.
We hear
You were hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep going. Were you finished?
Hello?
We hear you,
Hello?
but she doesn't hear us.
Okay.
We are hearing
Yes.
you.
So, yes, thank you. Yes, so that it is important, as I said, I was never a principal of a school, but because of the extensive research done at the level of the director, where I manage the schools, right? Those areas, the areas of student leadership and development, were recognized as being very important. How you go about developing yours, it's not just like, for instance, some schools would just have a student council and have prefects of the class, of the classes. But how do you utilize those skills of the students? How do you develop those skills, leadership skills in students? Okay. At the school where I was previously, we did a lot of leadership training for the students. We had conferences for them. We even sent them abroad to attend conferences in Florida. They attended areas in Senegal. And you give them that exposure so that it could motivate other students to see things that are possible.
Good
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, I do agree with you. That is something that we do as well. Send students to conferences, as well as give them the opportunity to go to do debate sessions. But what I also want to say, Jennifer, is that we need to give them the tools. We should give them the tools from young. Because all what you said, the opportunities that we give them, all the effect that you have, and you said, truly correct. There's no but. I encourage all is to give them the tools from a young age that they can have the opportunity to excel and also feel safe.
Yeah.
And also feel safe about doing that, and also feel comfortable. And that's a part of the school climate and the school culture as well.
Love it. Love it. Let me go back up to Jacqueline. Here we go. Jacqueline, you let me make sure that's the right one. Yeah, that's it. You said inspiring and influencing your unit, your team, requires patience, love of self, and loving your team members. If you remember your sequence, Jacqueline, that I took this way out of sequence because this hit me. So what do you say?
Well, I have to be honest, those 3 traits I learned from Dr. Asa G. Hilliard back 20 some years ago. And he said, in order to be a great teacher, you can have a lot of things going on, but there's 3 things you have to do. You have to be patient, you have to love yourself, and you have to love those kiddos and families you're working with.
Could you enlighten our audience just briefly as to who Dr. Hilliard was?
He was a historian who actually he had a PhD and taught history and African cultures and worked at Georgia State University for a number of years. He traveled to Africa and took groups of people over the summer, probably for excursions, at least 10 years, and actually passed away while he was on one of those excursions in Africa in 2007, excuse me, because his last visit was to us in Nova Scotia in 2005. He visited us 3 times over those years and planned to come back until he passed away. But he was actually somebody I met first at the National Alliance of Black School Educators in 1994 in Detroit. 1995 in Detroit was the first time I got to see him at a conference. And his work is primarily in history and culture of Africans.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So those 3 traits I learned from him. I heard the words, of course, but didn't really know what that meant. First of all, when I started out as a teacher, I didn't even like myself. I was just just starting to like myself. So he said, you have to love yourself. So I had to really dive deep and lean into what that meant. I had to have patience. Well, I had a great degree of patience from, I think, my early beginnings and just kept on. My best friend will tell me now, you got to give that up. I'll be waiting 5 hours later for someone to show up and she'll say, you're still waiting for them? Yep, because I have this undeniable amount of patience. So you have to have patience with people because they are going to disappoint you. They are going to insult you. They're going to hurt you. They're not going to show up. They're going to do all those things that cause you to be off your game. But at the end of the day, you sort of have to be patient with them. And then thirdly, you have to love those folks. And team is a word that's used a lot. I like unit because it sort of says to me that we're together a little bit more than even a team. And you have to love them. It doesn't mean I have to like them, but I love them. So when I send you away, you irritated me, you did whatever, you annoyed me, but I like you. I like you generally, but I didn't like what you did. So I have to love you. And when I bestow love upon you, I'm also giving you things. And so yesterday I was at Thursday, I was at a session and we have, for Black Educators Association, I was with the staff of the African Canadian Services branch, who we work is one of our partners here in Nova Scotia. So I was at the branch and we had some giveaways, motivational tools. I have African-inspired calendars for the year that you can hang on your wall, or there's woven totes that I got from Dr. Chika Akua. And the thing is, everybody can't be paid to show up at something, but I want to give you something to go away with. So we also give out books, and I gave each book 100 of those equity and social justice educations, because people show up at an event. I want to give you something, but I don't want to just give you something, just say I gave you something. It has to have meaning, it has to be worthy, it has to have value. So I'm loving you, I'm giving you of myself. And I love doing that, and it makes people feel appreciated. So I say you got to love them, give love, whatever that looks like. Doesn't mean you like them every day, but you're loving them.
I want to stay with you for a minute. As you know, particularly in the way that you've align yourself with some of the greatest minds that we know as it relates to history and education, such as a Dr. Asa Hilliard, such as a Dr. Barbara Sizemore, etc. I want to throw this at you. You said love of self. Now, to one, and I don't know who will see these videos, right? The more people will see the video than they see the live, and there's a whole lot of people on here live right now. But we say love of self, and one may be thinking of their individual self, like do I love me, right? And I love me some Principal Kafele. I will tell you that I really do. I feel very blessed to be born me, right? But in the Afrocentric community, the conscious community, if you will, we tend to say love of self collectively as well. So do I love self relative to I happen to be a part of this particular racial, ethnic, cultural group, right? So I know you understand me fully when I say that. So I want to ask you this question. What is the significance of love of that self? And that's within the Dr. Asa Hilliard context. What is the significance of love that self when the students happen to look like you?
What is the significance? So I'm going to take that to me being surrounded by thousands of people who didn't look like me and just solely me. So I literally despised myself. I thought I was disgusting. I thought I was the most lowest on the planet, probably. And I was surrounded by all those people who were not like me. And I admired them. I thought, oh, I wish I could be that person. I used to try to put a mop. Cut a mop end off and cut the strings of the mop and put it on my head to make me have long flowing hair because I wanted to look like them. I used to sit in the tub. This is a true story. I would sit in the tub and try to scrape my color off of my skin. And I was brown skinned. I'm a little bit lighter because I don't sit and bask in the sun simply because I don't want to get skin cancer from sitting in the sun and burning my skin up. So I'm very comfortable in my skin, but having grown up with all those folks who didn't like the color of my skin when they thought I was too brown, that definitely influenced my love of self later on. So I began with self-loathing to where I came to self-love. And in order for me to become one where I love myself, I had to be immersed in my culture. And that started with my trek off to Nova Scotia Teachers College, where I met a few Black folks. Then I moved on to Black Educators Association, went into a school. Here's building. There's more folks like me, kids, older people, the adults in the building, the parents, the community. And I wasn't afraid to go anywhere. I could go from across the street to the house party or back to the school into our boardroom at the school. Then I went off to the National Alliance of Black School Educators, Black Educators Rock, down to the Southern United States with my best friend and her family, where I was morphed into communities where there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of people like me. I was like a tourist because I'm going, oh wow, they're everywhere. They're like me. I finally see me. And before, unless I could have that influence, I would have been in a state of still self-loathing as opposed to self-love. So we have to love all of us from all over the globe. And that's where I had to go. I had to go beyond my street, beyond my town, beyond my province, beyond my country into the United States. I've been to the Caribbean. Haven't been in Europe. That's on my bucket list one day to go to Dubai or somewhere, but I want to see us over there too, because there's greatness and we have to be influenced. I haven't been to Africa. That's a plan as well. So those are places I want to go to once I stop working every day kind of thing, which I don't know when that is. Been doing it for 30 years. So you have, in order for me to love self, I had to be immersed in people like me. It was impossible to love self.
I love it. I love it. That's great stuff. Anybody want to weigh in?
Yeah, I really want to compliment Jacqueline on what I've been hearing. Okay, it is unfortunate that you had to endure such a, what shall I say, childhood and adulthood. Okay, but as a female, as a woman, I really want to compliment you, especially in this week of International Women's Day and week, for having that resilience to move from self-loath to self-love. You must be commended for that. And especially as we are aware that there are also students and also maybe members of our staff who may be experiencing the same situations and may not be as resilient as you are. So we may hear of cases of suicides, attempted killings, etc., etc. So I really want to commend you on your stance, what you have stated here today, because it is bringing to the forefront to all of us as educators, to all of us as school leaders, the importance of, I know it would have affected your mental well-being, your physical well-being, but it is something I am thankful you have brought up today, because it's something that as educators we must put on the front burner. I don't know how we may detect it in our staff or in our students. The guidance persons, etc., would be able to steer the way with that. But it is an important thought that you have brought up here today.
Yes, I want to thank you, Jacqueline, for bringing that. And yes, it is truly commendable, and bringing it up, but being open about it, and being able
Yes.
to speak about it says volume. And you're amazing. You're amazing. I feel like I know you from a long time. You are amazing. You are awesome. You are beautiful. You are beautiful, and it takes, as the other speaker said just now, it takes a lot of courage to come out and speak about a hurtful past. But bear in mind, it can be such a big tool for youngsters and for others. Your story, the inspiration that you have given them, you might not know how many it might have reached, and can be a source of help and a source of comfort. So I want to thank you for being open and honest and giving us that opportunity or a little peek into your childhood. And be blessed.
I love it. Woo! This number 202 today. This is powerful, man. And the numbers are kind of high today, man. People loving y'all. They higher than normal. Anybody else want to jump in? I'm not going to do all of your talking points because that'll take us till like late tonight. I'm just, we're gonna do a part 2 later in the year. That's what we're gonna do. Let me move on then. That's let me take Melissa off of here so I can see where I'm at. And we're gonna go to number 5, and here we go. That would be Jennifer. And once again, I ranked these and corded. I was biased with these, the ones that resonated with me most. And this is key, man. Work-life balance and well-being. Work-life balance and well-being, especially among our women school leaders, are critical to sustainable leadership. And you got that right, Jennifer. I had to learn it the hard way before I had the heart attack. The heart attack, my wake-up call. And am I perfect at it? No, not yet. But I'm better than I was. Right. So talk to us, Jennifer. What are you saying?
It is an important area in terms of leadership sustainability, leadership survival. Self-care is important, okay? And regardless of whether we are male or female, and I am more skewed towards the female, the woman, not only because it's International Women's Week, but because women are often engaged in multiple roles at the same time. All right? And hence the reason why it is so important for us to strike that balance between your professional responsibilities and your domestic functions. And over the years, we have seen increasing numbers in terms of women spending more time on professional responsibilities and getting professional qualifications. Okay? And in Trinidad and Tobago, over 80% of our school leaders are females. Whether it is at the early childhood level, the elementary level, and the secondary school level and post-secondary school levels, women dominate leadership positions, whether it's at the level of the principal, vice principal, or even other senior positions at the level of the schools. So therefore, it is imperative that women, we are thankful for the men who give us this support, but it is important that women themselves see about, and I would say themselves. Okay? How do we really go about doing it? some of the statistics here in Trinidad indicate that women are moving more towards professional qualifications, professional learning, and deferring marriage, etc., to a later date. Hence, some of the statistics we see coming out from the ministry in terms of the age groups of persons in student leadership positions. But you hear the complaint all the time that I may be struggling. You don't know, you really don't know what I have to do all day, you know. And then when I go home, I still have to do X, Y, Z, Z, and all the different things. So there are several challenges that our women leaders are facing all the time in trying to balance the professional responsibilities with their personal life. All right? And yes, we could advise them that get engaged in exercise programs, and they may ask you when, before work or after work, when I'm burnt out. All right? We may want to suggest having flexible work arrangements for women so that they can help to balance the professional responsibilities with their domestic responsibilities. We recently went through a period of COVID. We had remote work going on. To some extent, it was successful, but as soon as we believed, I'm saying believed in quotes, that COVID has come to an end, that was the end of the remote work. And we still live in a society whereby to carry out your professional responsibilities, I must see you in front of me 8 hours a day. All right? And we forget all about some of the benefits of the remote learning.
Yeah.
So having to put things in place, sort of flexible arrangements, so that women can really not suffer the burnt out. I'm not saying men don't undergo the same, but because of the larger proportions, as I said, over 80% of our staff, our school leaders, are women. And we don't want them to encounter burnout. We don't want them to suffer mental breakdowns. We don't want to have them undergo stress, things like that. So that maybe, as I mentioned the word stress, we can have stress management programs, conflict management programs, all those different areas that could really help women sort of balance that. I mean, workshops for women all the time, healthcare products that you may want to give out to your leaders. You may want to have a day of free testing, a week of free testing for hypertension and different things like that, so that women themselves can see that you understand their situation and you are helping them, guiding them in that balancing, because we don't want to lose them. If 80% of our school leaders move out as women, what are we left with? Our men are not coming into the education profession. So that's just my little input into that work-life balance and mental well-being of women. I thought it was a nice area to broach in terms of the International Women's Day theme.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff there. Anybody want to weigh in?
I'll jump in, Principal Kafele, and say, in the context of the Black Educators Association, I'm thrilled to be able to offer our staff, which is about 120, people across the province a flexible working schedule. When we went into COVID, we had to, I had to decide how we're going to operate our programs after school, our offices. So we were fully remote that first year. Next year, we were kind of fully remote, but I moved people out of that into hybrid scheduling where we were partially in person for smaller events, larger events, wouldn't let 200 people like usual, only 100, but also remote work, whether you're in your home, your car, or wherever. You could be in a hotel room. So we're in our 4th year now, post-pandemic. We're in an endemic phase. There's certainly things going on. So I kept our staff as the leader in deciding that we could offer, where we have mostly women. I will say that we have men employed with us and young men and young women. However, I have most definitely seen a happier staff because they get to be home with their families. The scheduling, we meet online every Wednesday or when we have huge events. So the provincial spelling bee is always, we plan Wednesdays, and we used to start 8 hours and we'd be online for 8 hours. Well, now we're 90 minutes. We got it all summed up. We're ready to go. So if anyone is able to offer that scheduling, obviously in classrooms, you can't necessarily do that, but if you can be flexible with your staff and let them go early, take their class if you're able to. If you're able to hire someone else to come in and give them some time to be away, or award on Principal Recognition Week or National Teachers Week, give something to allow those people to be with their family. So I've kept our group in a hybrid scenario. And to summarize that, to bring it back, the staff is much more productive. They're happier, they're kinder, and they work all around the clock. And so the hybrid flexible scheduling post-pandemic, we're endemic phase, giving everybody that flexibility is certainly a positive, but women especially, I've seen it since our organization has a whole host of women. So.
Good stuff. Maybe the two of you need to write that book as it relates to work-life balance regarding the woman. The woman educator. That book may not even. I don't know if that book is out there, particularly from your vantage point. So maybe the two of you need to write those books and get them one out there. Anything else before? I'm gonna do one more with Christina, and that'll be we did 2 each, and then we'll I'll reschedule so we can get a second part in later on in the year. But anybody else want to weigh in on work-life balance? All right, let me move on to the last one with Christina. Let me go to the right page here. Where we at? Here we go. What's that, number 6? Here we go. The importance that persons realize the importance of lifelong learning. I don't think, Christina, we could say that enough, because it's easy to go to grad school and come out, get a leadership position, and not go as hard in the books as we did in the past. What are you saying? Unmute, I think. Unmute yourself, Christina. Start over.
Oh, thank you. I love the fact, Principal Kafele, the quote of Mahatma Gandhi, and I'm not sure that I can say it by heart, but live as if you're going to die tomorrow, and live as you're going to live forever, something like that. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but that one from Mahatma Gandhi, that speaks volume to me, especially in education. We are in the 21st century, and there is so much new skills. If we look, let's say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if we look at the COVID time, it's an ongoing process. And if we as educators, leaders, school principals, school administrators, whatever role we are in, not only educators, but in general, stick or get stuck in what we know and are not open, are not receptive, that there are tools that we need to have to help us to educate ourselves as well as the persons that we are guiding. So we are not educating ourselves and our students and those around us for today. We are educating them for tomorrow and beyond. So I often say the opportunities that you get to educate, the little opportunities that you get. It could be whatever. And I think as Jennifer said it, continuously upgrade yourself. We're not asking you to be on a roller coaster, but as much as possible to enhance yourself with lifelong learning skills, especially in the education world, realizing that it's every day it's something new. Every day it's upgrading of some system. Every day there are additional tools and skills that we need to assist our children with that holistic educational approach. So I cannot emphasize it more how important it is for us to realize the importance of lifelong learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. I think let me stop it right there, and because we at 2 hours now. So listen here, folks. Before we leave, we got our rapid fire, what I call our BAM impact questions. So the way this works, folks, if I have one guess, I just give you 21 quick questions, but we got 3, so I'm gonna go 7, 7, 7, and then at the end there's one I'm gonna give all 3 of you. But the key is, it's just a one-word answer. If you feel you can't answer it in one word, then give me a sentence. But if you find yourself inserting commas, then I'm gonna cut you off and say, too much, right? It's just one word, but you can do one sentence, right? I'm gonna start off with Jacqueline with the first 7 questions all set. Here we go. Is education on the right path for underserved children?
It's transient.
Can true equity occur in our schools for Black, brown, and other underserved students?
It's possible.
Does Jacqueline Herriott's work contribute to the progress we desperately need?
I believe so.
If you could do a reset on your life, would your line of work be different or the same?
Most definitely the same.
Why do you continue to do this work?
I absolutely love teaching.
What fires you up within the work that you do?
The kiddos.
And what do you absolutely love about this work?
Learning every day. Learning something different.
Jennifer, here we go. What do you dislike? What do you dislike about the work you do?
Nothing.
What has been your greatest victory in this work thus far?
Extending professional learning to other educators. Oh, beep.
No, that's good. You're good. What has been your greatest mistake in this work?
Not sure at this time.
That's no problem. What has been your greatest challenge in this work?
Getting belief in the importance of professional learning.
Are you proud of your first year in leadership?
Certainly I am.
Are you proud of your first year as you elevated to those higher positions in leadership?
Could you repeat?
Yeah, see, normally I would have, are you proud of your first year as assistant principal and then principal? So I'm trying to make it consistent with the work you do. So as you moved up the ranks into the Ministry of Education, are you proud of your first year in that capacity?
Yes, I am.
Who inspires you in the work that you do?
Principal Kafele, get that mirror.
Get that mirror. Get that mirror.
Yeah.
Bam.
Get that mirror.
Christina, here we go. Last group of questions. What are you reading right now? It doesn't have to be a book. It could be a blog, an article. It could be a tweet, anything.
Conscious parenting.
Conscious parenting. What book would you recommend for our viewers this afternoon?
Oh, conscious parenting. I've just started. Is my first chapter, and it's good.
It's good. Okay. What do you want to accomplish that you haven't accomplished yet?
Some me time.
Me time. There you go. That work-life balance. Are you satisfied with where you are professionally now?
Yes.
What could you say to a viewer out there who continues to face closed doors?
Pray.
What could you say to a viewer out there who's lost their fire?
Interact with others.
And if Christina Timber Glover was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
Excitement, happiness.
If Jacqueline Herriott was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
Expedition from self-loathing to self-love.
And if Jennifer Doyle was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
Passion.
Passion. Well, we made it all the way to the end, and I just want to commend and salute, applaud each of you. This was phenomenal. This was even though we couldn't see you, Jennifer, your voice came over mighty strong. So it was all right. It was all right. Listen to the fam out there. You already know how we applaud our guests, but to the newbies on here that may be first timers, you wouldn't know. We just put our favorite emojis up, and we put a lot of them on your screen. So just many of us already started. So just give us your emojis if this resonated with you, if you liked it, if you feel it may have added value to your practice, or if you just enjoyed being a part of us today. Give us your emojis, as I see so many of them coming through. Those are the applause. And then I use my emoji since I wear these baseball jerseys every Saturday. I use a baseball bat. This is my emoji, but it's real. This is a real bat. And you hit these powerful home runs every time you came to the plate. So which we call grand slams. So good job, great job, phenomenal job. I appreciate you. I applaud you. Let the folks know. I'm sure there are folks that may want to dialogue with you more. Maybe you got some social media channels or platforms that they can reach out to you. Jacqueline, how can folks reach you if they want to talk to you more? And I don't know if any of you do any speaking outside of this in terms of any professional, but maybe somebody out there may want you to travel to the States and do a presentation. So Jacqueline, how can they reach you?
You can always reach me at Jacqueline, J.S. Herriott, HERRIOTT @gmail.com. That's the email. Generally, you can reach us on the BEA's website as well, but we're under construction. However, it'll be up and running. So you can also peek in there at www.bea-ns.ca or Instagram. You can reach me at JS Herriott, HERRIOTT. Not like Harriet Tubman, but not spelled the same way anyway.
With an E, right? And those of you that may have missed anything, just rewind at the end and you'll get it all. Jennifer, how can they reach you?
Did you say Jennifer?
Yes, ma'am. Jennifer.
Yes. Jennifer Doyle. That's 2 N's, 1 F. jenniferdoyle.trini@gmail.com.
There you
Or
go. That's
TTA.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you go.
TTASCD93@gmail.com.
Excellent. Folks, when she said Trini, that's TRINA, right?
N-I.
Well, I mean, yeah, what am I saying? N-I, TRINI. Well, why'd I say that? That's Trina. All right. And then Christina.
You can reach me on my Facebook page, Christina Timber Glover. You can just inbox me, as well as you can email me on C for Christina, c.timber@Scotia, STATIA.com. So c.timber@ecestatia.com.
All right, I appreciate it. And for the three of you, just want to remind you one last time, the folks that tune in here every Saturday morning or watch the videos when they can, These are folks that are looking to just get better at what they do. That's why they tune in. This is not a show. It's not entertainment. It's none of that. It's an academy, as I call it, and they log on because they're looking for folks that got some answers, they got some solutions, they got some strategies that maybe they hadn't considered yet. So with that said, starting with Jacqueline, what are your parting words? You don't have to give me anything long. Just what are your parting words to our family who are watching right now?
You're not alone. Reach out to someone, and especially if you have free time, come on this academy. I used to check in. I used to press I like. One day, I don't even know how long ago it was, I came on, and now I can't not come on. So if you're looking for complimentary professional development, come on to the Principals Academy, the Assistant Principal and New Principals Academy. And you don't have to be a principal to be here, or you don't even have to want to be a principal to be here. But if you want to be inspired, come on this academy.
I appreciate
That's my best advice.
I appreciate it. Jennifer, before I go to you, let me just put this on the screen. To Alonda, forgive me. I need to hire an assistant so that I can have somebody doing that work for me. So just rewind it when we're finished at the end of the video. You can go to any of the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or X, and just rewind it at the end and get that information. At some point, I'm gonna hire somebody to take care of all that for me because I'm doing too much up here. But with that said, Jennifer, any parting words?
Yes, all the way from sunny Trinidad and Tobago.
You teasing me? You teasing me? It's cold and wet out here.
Yeah, time for you to come down. All
Yeah.
the way from sunny Trinidad and Tobago, I say be future ready. You don't have to do it alone. I just want to end with a quote from Barack Obama when he was a senator in 2008. I believe deeply that we cannot solve the challenges of our times unless we solve them together. Unless we perfect our union by understanding that we may have different stories, but we hold common hopes, that we may not look the same and may not come from the same place, but we all want to move in the same direction towards a better future for our children and our grandchildren. I close with that.
Powerful, powerful. Christina, bring it home.
I want to thank you first and foremost, Principal Kafele, for having me here.
Yeah.
I want to say that we are from different continents, but we share one common goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like platforms like these that we get fired up, excited,
Yep.
motivated, and energized.
Re-energized. Yes.
Re-energize and energize. So whatever you're feeling, however you're feeling, get on the platform, reach out, touch someone, and be re-energized and motivated and encouraged. Get your fire back.
I love it. I
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
Hey, to my guests, I'm gonna close us out, but stay on even when I close out so we can talk off camera. Hey, to the fam out there, before you leave, let me just say to you, thank you for being here. This was powerful, powerful, powerful. And the numbers never faded at the end. Usually when you start getting into that second hour, people got to leave, but y'all stayed on, man. We still at the live number still at 434. And I'm sure that the total number is going to be in the thousands when I look at it, when I log off. So I appreciate you all. Join me next week, y'all. Week number 203. We'll have two New York City principals, Principal Samantha Pugh and Principal Allison Farrington. Allison Farrington has a supermarket in her school. So that should be enough for you to want to log on and see what that's all about. So she calls it a pantry, but I've seen it. It looks like a supermarket, right? So that'll be the two of them. They'll join me there from the OSG, that's Off School Grounds Coalition. So we're going to have a good time with them next week. So tune in 10:55 Eastern Time. Next Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, Facebook Live, Sean Hurt, followed by Create and Educate with Dr. Sheikah Houston, Dr. Tammy Taylor at 10:30. And then Unlock the Middle with Josh Tovar and Dean Packard on Sunday night at 7. Those are all Facebook Live. Those are all Eastern Time. Make sure that you register for the School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele. Go to principalkafele.com. Scroll down to Principal Kafele announcements, and you'll see the link. Go on in there, register, and I'll see you in Houston, Texas, July 9 and 10, all day, talking about instructional leadership. The books that accompany this platform, they're principal books, but I'm only showing you the AP books for now because of time. The Assistant Principal 50. That's the first one that accompanies this. This book was published the same time that this platform was launched in May of 2020, and we're coming up on our 4th anniversary. So if you don't have a copy yet, get yourself a copy, and then get this along with it. The Assistant Principal Identity, which you see behind me on the shelf. This is my newest one, and then the Aspiring Principal 50. So those of you who aspire to become an administrator, or if you're already an administrator at the assistant principal level, but you aspire to become a principal, this is also for you. So all three, and then I've written 14 books altogether, 13 published. One is still a manuscript. I haven't given it to the publisher yet. And then I'm writing another one soon called What's My Value to the Teachers That I Supervise Instructionally? Again, what's my value to the teachers that I supervise instructionally? I've done that session on here, and I do it as workshops when I'm in the field, but I decided I'm going to put it in a book. So that's going to be written. I'm going to start it May 1st, and I'm going to finish it before May 31st. And that'll be my next book. So stay tuned for that. Where am I at? Make sure that you like and follow the AP and New Principals Academy Facebook page. Make sure you check out the video series I put out, Becoming a Professional Speaker, parts 1 to 5. That's 5 videos, 9 hours of content, and Becoming a Best-Selling Author. So those of you that want to write that first book but don't know where to start, I made you 5 hours of content, parts 1 through 4. They're on the AP and New Principals Academy YouTube channel. Just go there. There are 2 playlists. Click the link and binge watch them all, in addition to all the video sessions of Saturdays that you may not have seen. And then where am I? I'm at the end. Your diet. Make sure that you're eating right. Make sure you're getting that exercise in. Make sure you're taking COVID and other diseases and virus precautions that are out here. I got a full physical examination last week. I told you, those of you who were with me in the beginning, I took the week off. I didn't do any traveling this week. I took the week off, so I did take the time to get a physical examination. I'm in good shape, and that's a good thing. So I'm ready for the rest of the year to go hard. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself, doing what the doctor tells you to do, exercising right, and taking precautions. Other than that, thank you for being here. Have a safe week, and we will see you next week. Have a great week. Have an extraordinary week. There's that mirror. Have your best week yet. Peace. Peace. Thumbs up. Now cock that fist back. Count to 3. And my famous word, 1, 2, 3. Bam! We'll see y'all next Saturday, man. Y'all make sure you have a strong week. And that test preparation we talked about before, make sure you're getting it in at a high level so that your students perform at the highest possible levels. I'll see you then next Saturday, 10:55 Eastern.